Hi guys, welcome to the channel, and here's another race footage from the Madras Racing Circuit's handicap race, February 2020. This is a really fun format of racing, the handicap format. Uh, basically, the newbies start in the limit group in the front, then the stronger guys start in the chopping group with about 5 or 6 minute sort of disadvantage, and then the really strong guys start at the back. And here you can see Martin and myself and some other guys starting at the back in the strong group called the scratch. I think we've got about 10 odd minutes gap with the guys in the front, and we're already about 24.2 kilometers into the race, 32 odd minutes. We're really trying our best to get hold of the guys in front. We're taking our 30-second turns in the front, each one of us, and really digging deep. As you can see, we're setting a blistering pace. We're right now at about 44 kilometers an hour, and it's pan flat with a little bit of, let's say, false flat, but it's also a super windy course. So you might feel like on a flat course you should be going faster, but it's super windy and super challenging. Right now we've got a little bit of a crosswind, but it's not a headwind. A little bit of cross tailish wind, but it keeps changing as the direction keeps changing. You can see on my screen that's Martin. He's from Denmark, Team Velomici, my teammate. He's really a powerhouse. Once he goes to the front, he really sort of sets a really strong pace. In this group, there's also Prem, who used to ride with us a few years back, has moved to Canada and now back here in Chennai for a vacation. There's Jaikan, the really strong rider, and there's Michael and Ronald from Madras Schools. So all in all, a really strong group. Everybody really pulling their weight in this group, trying to get hold of the guys in front. It's been it's been a super 30 odd minutes. Everybody is really taking their turns. Things are moving smoothly. Of course, there are a few changes in speed, but we're trying to keep things together really. Jaikan's at the back. Nobody really wants to be behind Jaikan because he's a really small guy, and most guys don't get any kind of a draft behind Jaikan. So Jaikan's getting a little bit of a ride here, but don't get me wrong, he's a real workaholic. He really slogs up in the front, and he's a really strong rider and very committed guy. Great guy overall. So here I am on the front with the guys behind me. As you can see, we're doing a really decent pace. We're about 50 kilometers an hour, taking sort of the best lines on the course. The idea was to just take 30-second turns and set a really strong pace so that we can get hold of the guys really fast, and then the race really starts for us. Because all of the strong guys are really here on this group. That's Martin, who's just pulling over. Right behind Martin is Prem, again a super strong rider. That's Michael behind him. Just a little bit of a struggle for him to get on Prem's wheel. I think the change in pace would have been a little too much. As you can see, with over 35 odd minutes into the race, everybody is starting to tire a little bit, because we are doing a decent pace here. On the right, you can see my stats. Unfortunately, the front camera didn't come on for some reason, so don't have any footage from the front camera. Well, when we were starting the race, the idea was for me and Martin to keep things really hard when we were trying to catch the groups up in front of us. We wanted to set a really hard pace. We wanted to work together with the rest of the guys to make sure we got hold of the groups ahead. But at the same time, we didn't want to make things any easy for anybody. We didn't want people sitting in and we doing all of the work. So we made sure that everybody is taking their turns. Uh, but as you can see, we never shied away from taking a really hard turn in the front. So we just wanted to make sure that we get to the guys as soon as possible, and the race then could begin for us, and then we could play our cards well. So now we've taken the turn onto the OMR from ECR. This is where we will go on for about 10-11 odd kilometers and take a U-turn back. So it's, in that sense, it's an out and back course. Where at this moment I think we're just going to be able to catch one group ahead of us. I think what happened is in the front group there was a split, so we were able to catch one group ahead of us, and this is where one of the guys said that we should be careful because there is a group ahead of us. So we didn't really let off the gas as soon as we caught this group. We just kept going on. I wanted to make sure, as you can see, the speed has dropped. So there is a little bit of a headwind here. In fact, not a little bit, quite a bit of headwind here. That's the catch. But a bunch of guys dropped from the front group. We didn't want to slow down at all. We wanted to make sure we caught everybody into the race. Our plan was pretty simple. We wanted to try some attacks once the race was all together. Me and Martin would attack, and obviously being teammates, we wouldn't chase each other. That was our plan. Really wanted to see how we could make a break here. That's Jaykant right behind me. We're trying to again work that baseline in order to get to the guys in front. Our plan was initially to really make the race hard. We wanted to have a tough race. It's a 70-kilometer race. It can be done at a really fast pace. We wanted to make sure that we really put the hurt down and make it hard, not just for the others, but even for ourselves. This is a community race. These are not the nationals or any of the big races that happen. So these are great opportunities for us to become stronger. So we wanted to make the race really hard, get a super workout in, try some tactics, work as a team, and do all of those things together. So 30.7 kilometers now into the race. We're just going to make the catch to the guys in the front. We have slowed down, as you can notice from what was happening at the previous ECR leg, because there is a headwind now. It's super difficult. The thing about headwind is the guys at the back really get a good draft. The guy in the front is usually doing almost double the watts of the guy at the back with the headwind, especially on the roads outside of Chennai. But everybody, as you can see, is taking a nice dig in. We're all trying to get to the group as soon as possible. We didn't have much information here on where the rest of the group was, so we wanted to keep digging. That's Prem on my camera, really a strong rider. Now, as you can see, it's largely myself and Prem doing a lot of the work here in the front, trying to catch the guys in front. Some of the other guys are really beginning to tire because of the hard pulls we've been able to take. They might just be resting as well. We don't know, but we just didn't want to let go of the gas, and we wanted to keep things really hard for everybody, because at this stage we know the catch is going to happen, and and the more tired everybody is in this group, the harder it will be for them to respond to any attacks that happen from us. So we want to keep things hard. We're just sticking to our plan of making the race really hard. At this stage, we've sort of made the catch. I just want to be sure that there is no one up ahead, and this is where I actually asked the marshal whether if anyone is actually ahead of us, because I didn't want to be attacking if someone was ahead, and soon I got the information there's actually nobody ahead of us. We'd made the catch, so it was the perfect time to actually make the first attack. I was feeling quite good here. All of those efforts in the front uh, had helped actually get the legs working. And now, this is when I'm ready to attack and really see what happens. So here it goes. As you can see, I've started attacking now. I unfortunately don't have a power meter. You would have been able to see the power numbers, but that was Michael at the front. I really gave it a proper dig. I think because he was in the front, he he didn't realize that it was a proper attack. So I think I attacked from the right spot. This is where you can see that Prem actually goes up to the front. Prem was right on my wheel, really. So I think if he was trying to mark me, then it was a mistake, or probably he thought it was just too too much, right? Because we are at the 33-kilometer mark. It was a 70 odd kilometer race. Now you can see actually Prem getting to the front and doing a lot of pull, and I have a gap, but it's not as if the guys cannot close it. There's a big bunch of guys over there. All of them can work together. Of course, Martin won't, because as teammates we made a plan. If Martin attacked, I wouldn't work, and if I attacked, Martin wouldn't work, and that's what teammates are for. And so basically, the guys had a good opportunity. uh, they needed to work together, and I was tiring. At this stage, as you can see from my heart rate, I'm already at 181 beats per minute. My cadence isn't really great. It's dropping. I'm into a headwind. uh, so it's great that I got the cap, but with three or four strong riders who decide to work together, it could get over very soon for me. um, so yeah, this is where I really sort of put my head down and said, okay, now you got to keep attacking. But the race was really far off, right? The finish was roughly at the 70-kilometer mark, and I've just sort of rolled the dice over here, gotten into a sort of a no man's land in the front of the race, and I have to now just dig deep, because I've spent quite a lot of energy here. Getting caught would mean definitely having burnt a couple of matches, that my chances in the sprint would get harmed. But this is where I put all the eggs in one basket and said I have to now get into a time trial mode, and try to stay away till the finish. So we're roughly now at the halfway mark, or at the U-turn mark, more than the halfway mark. At the 40 odd kilometer mark is when the U-turn arrives. There are a few marshals over there. That's also a great opportunity for me to be able to see how far back is the group, how many of them are still together, what's it like for them. That's really my only opportunity to get a sense of how far ahead I am, and it can be motivating or demotivating, but nevertheless it's going to be some information that's going to come my way. So roughly at the 40 kilometer mark you will see me taking a U-turn. I tried to keep it smooth, gave the legs a little bit of a break, took a good line, thanks to the marshals for cordoning that off. Again, on the pedals, trying to again get low as soon as possible. Again, with the assistance of a little bit of a cross tailwind now that the U-turns happen. As you can see, that's the big punch coming right behind me. At this stage I'm like, okay, if they decide to work together and if I start to tire, they're going to make the catch. So I needed to sort of conserve my energy. I needed to stay as aero as I could, put down the power as smoothly as I could, and really stay in that time trial mode. So, and hope that they for some reason are tired or are not working together. But they had the numbers. The teams at the back had the numbers, and yeah. Post this, it was a really boring race. What happened is that I managed to stay away. In fact, when I hit the ECR, managed to get a strong uh, a strong gap, an even bigger gap, and eventually finished about 3 odd minutes ahead of the second guy. So it was overall a very satisfying race, a very painful race. I had a tough time recovering from that effort, but thoroughly enjoyed it. So thanks guys, and thanks for watching, and I can't wait for the next race to happen, try out some of these tactics and shoot all of this content and bring it to you. So thank you, till next time.